Welcome back. Another issue that dominated discussions on the platform today is the kind of Nigeria we want and how to achieve it. Speakers highlighted how the problem started, and they believe the solution to the challenge is human capital development, which will redirect Nigeria's focus and make it great among the Committee of Nations.
It's a platform for national conversation.
If they are not allowed to go abroad for medical treatment, they will be forced to do something about the institutions here.
And every word at this event is geared towards profiling an actionable solution to building a Nigeria that works.
When the nation works, it works for every single one of us. Every single one. The rich, the poor, the old, the young, the one in the village, the one in the city. Wherever we are, the ones that live in the diaspora will walk with a little more gait, because they can have the pride of place of saying, I come from a great place, a great nation, and that nation is Nigeria. I don't need a cover to cover the color of my passport. I can proudly show that it's green. And it's not the green of another country. It's the green passport of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Some of the speakers say they're already walking the talk, asking more Nigerians to come on board.
We are highly import dependent. That is why I chose to dress this way today. The fabric may not be made in Nigeria, but the person that put it together is in Nigeria. That's value created here. The shoes I'm wearing, made in Nigeria. Maybe the only thing you take out is my wristwatch. But even my cufflinks were designed here in Nigeria, because it carries my initials. That's Nigerian content. So for everything you buy that is made here, you are creating jobs in Nigeria. But for every imported thing you buy, you are creating jobs abroad.
You know, the finest moment for any nation has always been when entrepreneurs rise. Nigeria has some of the finest in the world. But the challenge we have is that because the educational system is still a paralysis, they are not prepared for them to execute at the upstream level. For you to move from the downstream to the upstream, you need a huge accumulation of capability which the university system has to give you.
The platform, which started 12 years ago, holds twice a year.
Kidnappers have once again struck, this time in the president's hometown of Daura in Katsina State, where they have reportedly abducted a traditional ruler, Alhaji Musa Umar, at his Daura residence. The gunmen are reported to have stormed the town, shooting sporadically to disperse the crowd, before singling out the Magajin Garin Daura, who had just finished observing the Maghrib prayer. Alhaji Umar is the father of Fatima Musa, wife of Colonel Muhammad Abubakar, the aide-de-camp to President Muhammadu Buhari. When contacted by our correspondent, the Katsina State Command of the Nigerian Police Force said it was yet to confirm the incident and it was yet to receive clearance. Let's get more news now on the news at 10 from Maokwe Ogun, who's in our Abuja studio. Hi, Maokwe. Great to see you.
Hello, Amarachi. Happy Workers' Day to you and to all of our viewers watching us. Welcome to Abuja studios. The Acting Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has ordered the immediate redeployment of 6 commissioners of police, including 3 state commissioners of police. In a statement, the Force Public Relations Officer, DCP Frank Mba, explains that the redeployments are part of efforts aimed at rejigging the fight against armed banditry, kidnapping and other crimes across the nation. The statement names the redeployed state commissioners of police as Ahmed Abdurrahman from Kaduna State, Ali Janga from Bauchi State, and Omololu Bishi from Benue State. Mr. Janga moves to Kaduna State as police commissioner, replacing Mr. Abdurrahman, who's deployed, beg your pardon, to the Force Intelligence Bureau in Abuja. Former Commissioner of Police Intelligence, Habu Sani, takes over from Bauchi State Command, while Mr. Mukadas Garba moves from the Office of the National Security Advisor to the Benue State Police Command. According to the statement, the IGP has charged the newly posted police commissioners to initiate crime prevention strategies aimed at reclaiming the public space under their watch from the activities of criminal elements. Meanwhile, police authorities in Plateau State have confirmed the killing of 3 persons and 319 cattle in separate attacks on some villages in Bassa local government area. The state police spokesperson, Turner Chopiev, says the killing of the cattle occurred in Bili and Ariri districts a day after 3 persons were killed and another injured in different attacks in Mayanga and Rotsu villages in the same local government area. He said 2 herders have also been declared missing after the attack. A search and rescue team has been deployed to the affected villages to rescue the missing herdsmen, while a combined team of police mobile force and detectives are on the hunt for the perpetrators. And that's all from our Abuja studios. We now return to Lagos, where Melinda Kilani is standing by to tell us about the 90 billion naira generated by the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission on Business News.
You First. First Bank.
Thanks, Malpe. Welcome to Business News. The Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission has recorded a 90 billion naira worth of investment in 2018. This is according to the Executive Secretary of the Commission, Ms. Yewande Sadiku, who was speaking during an interactive session with journalists in the nation's capital, Abuja. She hints that the Commission also generated more than 5 billion naira from the registration of foreign companies for the year 2018.
NIPC is mandated to initiate or support reform initiatives. And we thought, given what often appears in the press and in discourse about the cost and the benefit of incentives, we thought it would be useful to do an impact assessment so that we first understand what the cost of the incentives have been and what the benefits supporting it have been, so that we understand what it has cost Nigeria relative to the economic achievements that we've recorded and compare ourselves with other countries that had incentive schemes, not necessarily like ours, but achieved economic development. How did they do it? What did it cost them? But what we found from the review of the agreement is what we share with you here. That 17 out of the 21 agreements, so 81% of the agreements, scored less than 10 over 20. In our view, those agreements generally need to be renegotiated because as they are, they give investors, they don't sufficiently protect Nigeria's interest.
The central bank has launched a policy document that provides a uniform standard for the circulation of only clean and fit banknotes in the country. Unveiling the scheme in Lagos, top executives of the Apex Bank briefed industry players about a second initiative known as Banknote Fitness Guideline, which will track the quality of notes in circulation. Nigeria's stock market is closed today for the Workers' Day celebration, but it's a negative start for the month for some major global stock markets around the world, especially on Wall Street, as U.S. Fed dashes hopes of a rate cut. Well, these are the closing figures. As Business News is back to you, Amarachi.
You First. First Bank.
Thanks, Melinda. We look at celebration of Workers' Day outside our borders now in South Africa. They were spliced with political campaigning ahead of the May 8th elections. President Cyril Ramaphosa joined the ANC's alliance partner, the Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU, in Claremont, KwaZulu-Natal to celebrate. Our South Africa Bureau Chief, Pt.3, reports.
Africa's first unified national minimum wage came to effect on the 1st of January 2019. 3,500 rand, that's an equivalent of about 80 or 81,000 naira for every worker. Some are somewhat happy for that start, but there is still the debate of the minimum wage against a living wage.
There are also issues of workers' welfare, workers' safety and favoritism in promotion processes. A day before this celebration, eThekwini municipality workers trashed the city of Durban over this. And on May Day, workers protested in the Northwest Province over a similar range of grievances.
But generally, this is what we are confronted in South Africa. Nepotism and favoritism is the order of the day, and we must uproot it at all costs.
Whether you are private sector or you are public sector, even the municipality itself is supposed to comply with the Employment Equity Act, because their demands, they were saying they want to be paid equally. The difference in terms of the Employment Equity Act is based on the experience, because if you have been working for 10 years, you can't be paid equally with a person who is just starting today. So that will be the only difference. And therefore, I just want to appeal to all government institutions to comply with the laws.
The president of the Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU, Zingi Swalosi, reminded the workers gathered of milestones attained and where work still needs to be done. Meanwhile, President Cyril Ramaphosa hailed the workers for their pivotal role in nation building with promises of improved welfare and threw in some campaign song and dance in the mix.
As our country goes to the elections next week, comrades, we remain determined that your interests as workers, as the working class, must be put right at the forefront of everything that we do.
In honor of the more than 70 people who lost their lives in the recent floods that devastated this part of the country and the Eastern Cape, President Cyril Ramaphosa directed a 7-day mourning period. From the Sugar Ray Kulu Stadium, Claremont, KwaZulu-Natal, Pt.3, Channels Television News.
Still ahead of the news at 10, around the world in 5. Please stay with us.